Hello all, my name is Steve and welcome to my Assessment 3 presentation for teachers inquiring about the world. My chosen topic for this project is why solar power is the way of the future. Throughout this guide, I'll be primarily discussing the sustainability of solar power versus fossil fuels. Some other highlights will include benefits, global and financial impacts, as well as how the world's leaders are planning to create a more sustainable planet. We will also delve into the Australian curriculum to see how this topic is discussed within the primary schools. By the end of the presentation, you'll also get an insight on how I researched this topic, mainly addressing where and how I was able to collect data, statistics, and evidence to validate my views. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We live in a world consumed by fossil fuels. Almost every appliance in our home is powered by gas or coal. In fact, nearly 9% of power consumed in Australia alone comes from these very fuels. Unbeknownst to many of us, this is creating instability for the planet. The main concern with fossil fuels is that there is a major contributor to global warming. The planet is slowly heating up. Over the last 100 years alone, we have seen an average increase of nearly 1 degree. This might not seem like much, but as the population grows and demand for fossil fuels increase, the average temperature begins to increase at an exponential rate. A factor of global warming is that it melts ice sheets in the sea and therefore leads to an increase in sea levels. We are more likely to see an increase in storms and drought-like weather. Renewable energies can help counteract global warming. One such energy is solar power. And as a society, if our country, or better still the planet, begins to embrace it, in years to come, we may eventually have the technology and the potential to reverse global warming. Some of the advantages of solar power are: it is powered by the sun, which is an unlimited and reliable energy source, which means it is less susceptible to blackouts. It is a clean source of power, producing 90% less pollutants than fossil fuels. With enough solar panels, the power generated from the sun has the potential to power the entire planet. And it can be an investment for families with long-term savings on their power bills. One of the setbacks of solar power is the upfront costs can be quite large and take many years before reaping benefits. We also hear from global warming deniers, who are often funded by large companies, arguing that damage from fossil fuels are not as catastrophic as scientists speculate. Personally, I believe that many of the world's leaders need to consider the sustainability of the planet and its inhabitants before being concerned with the costs associated with solar power. The good news is that action is starting to be seen around the world. In a recent G7 summit, many of the world's leaders have decided to cull fossil fuel subsidies to large businesses by 2025. There are also plans in development to convert all power to renewable energies by the end of the century. Fossil fuels and renewable energies like solar power are currently topics of discussion within the primary schools around Australia. Many practical experiments are performed and investigated through the science strand of the Australian curriculum. Students begin to learn about different types of power, where it comes from, its dangers, and how heat can be used as an alternative source of power. With all this new information, a student begins to comprehend why the weather is changing, possible future predictions, and solutions that reduce global disasters. As a suggestion, this area of study could suit younger students from grades 1 to 3 as they begin to explore the environment. When researching this project, advertisements often hindered results. Given that solar power is a product which can be purchased, many manufacturing websites bombarded online searches. However, the advantage of using a search engine like Google is that you can often specify your search. For example, I could limit my search to news articles from Australian sources over the last 10 years. This provided more up-to-date information. By combining keywords like solar power, curriculum, fossil fuels, government, ACARA, Australian Bureau of Statistics or ABS, benefits, dangers, future, costs, and even statistics, I was able to find a higher number of unbiased and more reliable results.